There you go. He's just staring at the phone. I don't know why. Anyway, he's laughing right now.
So you ready?
All right, folks. This is Yusuf Chowdhury, digital marketing coach in Santana, Texas. So today's it's a live workshop on Facebook Advertising 101, and my guest speaker, Rod Greensage, will talk about it. So you all need to pay attention. Okay? Here you go.
All right, thanks, Yusuf. Thank you for everybody that's here today. And basically, we're here to talk tonight specifically about Facebook marketing. How many of you, I want to see a show of hands, have done some sort of advertising on Facebook, whether it's been a boost, a post advertisement, and so I got a couple of people here. Okay. What's been your experience on that? Can you give me any feedback on what happened for you? I mean, what were you trying to do?
I did a boost, and it did seem to get a lot of exposure, but no conversions.
Okay. And what type of business are you in?
It's real estate.
Real estate. Okay. All right. Jeremy, you said you had done a boost. Tell me, or was it a post or?
I've done all kinds of different advertising on Facebook. Not to change the topic, but I've been using a little bit of Instagram from the Facebook and trying to do both and having a little more success with that.
Yeah.
Raising awareness, the conversions.
How's that been working out for you?
If I pixel them very strongly, then generally I can get something from it, but it's difficult just to go cold.
Okay. And it's a good thing that he brought that up, because not only can you do a Facebook ad, but what he's talking about is Instagram is integrated into that. So you don't have to just stick with just a Facebook ad. You can also use Instagram ads. That's important because you want to know what your demographic is when you're going after certain people. You know, a lot of younger people are using Instagram, although it's not just exclusive to that. But there are a lot of things that you want to take into consideration when you do that. So first of all, I'll tell you who I am, and I want to say thanks to Yusuf. I know he's not here, but he's allowing me to be in this room tonight and to be speaking with you. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day, especially with the holiday. My name is Rod Greensage. I'm the founder of Focus 4 Marketing. That's focused in the number 4 marketing.com. We're involved with social media marketing, not just Facebook advertising, but Twitter, Instagram, some of the major social media marketing aspects out there. But tonight we're here to talk about Facebook advertising. It's the one thing that I really like to do the most. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a little bit about Facebook marketing and what are some of the goals. Then I'm going to kind of take you through a step-by-step process of some of the things that you might want to use as best practices when you're starting your ads, what to expect, what not to expect, also what you should do before you actually create that first ad. And then we're going to take you through going through some of the targeting, which is actually one of my most favorite parts, is going in and looking at all the targeting aspects. So Facebook advertising, everybody I'm assuming here has a Facebook page, right? Or a Facebook, I should say Facebook profile, correct? Okay, can anybody give me a guess on how many people in the world log into Facebook on a daily basis? Average?
Billion.
What's that?
1 billion.
Not quite that many, but not too far off.
3 million?
900 million.
No, it's 800 million on average. It can go up to 1 billion. It has before.
It might grow.
But on average, 800 million people log into Facebook each and every day. So let me ask you a question. Do you think your audience is in that number?
Yes.
I would say so. That's a lot of people, right? And my mother is addicted to Facebook. I don't know about you, but she's even taking a trip, which she hasn't done in years, out of town on Christmas, and I think she's crazy, but hey, that's her. And so, I mean, there's just so many things that are just amazing about what Facebook can do. And first of all, Facebook is a very social platform. It's a social media platform. People do not go there to be sold. Okay, now that doesn't sound good for you guys, but let me explain. When people are going on Facebook, they're not going there for your advertising. They're going there for Aunt Sally's wedding. They're going for the vacations that people have gone on, for the new child that's been born, all these type of things, reunions, things like that. And right now, I mean, they share their animals, their new house, everything. So, with that in mind, it's extremely important that your advertising is captivating. What do I mean by that? You know, there are many ways that you can actually advertise. You can advertise using a video. You can advertise using graphics, meaning pictures. And you can also advertise your local business. How many of you actually have a brick, what they call it, brick and mortar, an actual storefront? Anybody? Location? You have a location. You know that you can actually advertise your location down to within half of a mile. You know, so you can actually target those that actually live or travel in and out of your particular location. The other thing is, if you've ever had a grand opening or an event, or if you're doing some sort of seminar, you can advertise an event. So that's another way. There are two main things that you can do with Facebook. You can sell a product. Like if you have glasses, you know, a handbag, something like that, or you know, anything that is sellable that you can take them to a shopping cart, whether it's a book, whatever, it doesn't matter. That's the way you can sell. But the majority of the time, you're doing this as a lead. You're trying to use this lead to get them interested in what you're all about, which is what the sales funnel is. So, with that in mind, I want to express that tonight we're going to go over a little bit about the boost, but there's limitations to the boost. But before we get into that, it's important that when you start your campaign, that you take a long, hard look at what is your demographic. Who are you trying to go after? The age, financial, educational. Maybe, you know, there may be a certain race or gender that you may be going after. So all of these things are something that I would highly recommend that you take some time to think about. You know, I sit down with my clients when we first start off, and I have them actually do a little bit of homework, you know, and say, hey, we're going to get very, very specific on what your target audience is. And why is that important? Because the dollars that you spend on Facebook, you don't want to be targeting to somebody that's not actually interested in your product. Let me explain the difference between traditional advertising and Facebook advertising. Traditional advertising is what? Radio. We have somebody here that was in radio or still is. Television is another way. You know, how many of you have ever seen a commercial? I'm sorry? Newspaper, magazines, right? How many of you have ever seen maybe a commercial for a particular food product? And that's actually encouraged you to get up and go and get that food product. You know, maybe it's been 5 times since you've done that. Maybe it's been 10. But that one time that you're hungry for whatever they've got, now you're interested. But the difference between that and Facebook advertising is this. When you're doing the traditional advertising, that's targeted to the masses. They don't ask you what demographic you are. They don't ask you. They're just sending it out in varieties to each and every person, hoping those that are interested are actually going to take the step necessary to go to the next point. With Facebook advertising, you can get very, very specific. I use this analogy. Imagine being in a convention. How many have ever gone to conventions? And you have this, maybe there's a salesman there. He has a really nice gift, and he's wanting to give it away. And he's just like, if you give your card, you get a chance to win this gift. Now, he's going to go back with those leads, but does he really have good quality leads? Why? Because everybody's going after that, right? But what if everybody was coming into that convention and we told them ahead of time, we're looking for people that are in between the ages of 30 and 50, and we're looking only for females that are married and that have children, and they are not renters, they are actually home owners. Everybody else that is in that category goes on this side. Everybody else, they go on this side. So everybody that's on this side is a much more higher quality minded lead, would you say? Because now you're actually targeting them. That's exactly what you're doing when you're doing this on Facebook. That's why it's extremely important to be very, very detailed early on in your search pattern on what the most ideal targeted market is for you before you even think about starting your campaigns. Once you define that, then you can get very, very specific with your dollars. That was a thought that I was going through, but I'll just keep going. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about that tonight, and there is something. How many of you actually have Facebook pages? Not profiles, but actually business-type pages? Okay. All right. What we're going to do is, you may or may not have seen this before, but this is called Ads Manager, facebook.com/ads/manager. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I had a person come to me recently, and he says, Rod, he's in disability insurance. Those for who get sick and can't work, like Aflac. He doesn't work for Aflac, but it's like that. And he told me, he goes, Rod, I've been doing boosts lately, and I've been getting 18-year-olds that are not even in college or anything, and I'm not even going after those people. And I asked him, I said, okay, well, what are you doing? And he told me, well, I'm doing a boost. Can anybody tell me why that may or may not be a good idea to do a boost?
Are boosts targetable?
They are, but they are very limited. And that's exactly what was happening to this gentleman. He was targeting, but he couldn't get very specific. So that's why it's important to go to the Facebook Ads Manager, because you can at least start from there to get very, very specific on who you're going after. So I want to show you this. This is the way it looks, but if I went here,
Can you tell me how to get there?
yeah, that's what I was about to do. I'm at my Facebook home. If you go to this called a chevron here. You pull that down and you go to Ads, Manage Ads.
I don't have that on mine because I'm on an iPad.
Okay, let's see real quick. Yeah, it may be very limited on that. You may want to go see if you can put in the URL facebook.com/ads/manager.
Oh, it's ads/manager?
Yeah, ADS/manager. Right.
.com.
No, not facebook.com/ads/manager. Okay, and basically this is where we can start a campaign. But before we even go, we can create an ad, and I'll take you through this. But I also want you to, if you want to open up another column on your browser, on your browser, if you have your laptops out, facebook.com/ads/audience, then the underscore insights, INSIGHTS.
When you said slash, did you mean
/. And the audience insight is extremely important, and I'll tell you why. This is going to give you a breakdown of the demographic of the audiences that you put in. It shows you who is actually on Facebook. So when you put in, like say, a certain age, and you're wanting maybe male or female, it'll tell you, and I'll show you here in a second, why this is important. Why is this important? Because it's going to show you who is actually on Facebook. And so if your target market is between the ages of 25 and 60, but the majority of the people are in the 45 through 60 range, then you might want to shift your monies towards those people because there's more people in that demographic. Does that make sense? Okay, and I'll show you why here in a second. So if you come to facebook.com/ads/audience_insights, it's going to ask you two questions. You want to target everybody that's on Facebook or just those that are connected to your page? More than likely, you're going to be targeting everybody on Facebook. So we're going to click on that real quick. Okay. I'm sorry? It's facebook.com/ads/audience_insights. Okay, I'm just going to I'm going to make up a fictitious company. Let's just say I'm a shoe company. Okay? So I'm going to target, and what kind of shoe company? It could be anything. Wedding shoes, it could be running shoes, it could be all types of shoes. I'll say right now that we're going to go after athletic shoes. Okay, so what I'm wanting to do is over here on the left column, And by all means, I meant to say this before I started. If you have a question, raise your hand. I'll be more than happy to stop. We have a little over 2 hours, or a little less than 2 hours, but we're here, and I'm here to answer the question. There is no, right or wrong questions. I'm here to answer questions for you. Okay? So on this left side is where you want to start to define your audience. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the all United States, and I'm just going to say San Antonio, Texas. So right now, if I didn't do anything else, if that's all I did was define just San Antonio, Texas right there, you can see that 54% of women are on Facebook in San Antonio. Of the women in San Antonio, there are 54%, and 46% men. God bless you. So let's say I wanted to target maybe a younger crowd from 18 to 25 years old. Now that's gone differently here. You can see that there's 85% of the selected audience, 19% of Facebook users. Now, there's just not just age and gender here. There's also lifestyles, career building, solid single parents, lavish lifestyles. That's one thing. Relationship status. See down here, you have here, this is single, in a relationship, engaged. If you know somebody that's in wedding planning or wedding, that might be a very particular interesting stat for you. If you're wanting to target those that are engaged or in a relationship, married, educational level, if you're trying to target those that are maybe, needing to go back to school, or maybe that you're a more affluent market that you're going after. So you want maybe a more college educated or even a master's or whatever that may be. Also, financial, that's an extremely important one. You can actually target people with a certain net worth or income level. So job titles, look at this. This is retail, food prep, temporary sales, personal, military. Let's say if you wanted to go after military because you have a special deal on your real estate, if you're wanting to give them a specific deal. So there's a lot of things that you can really target, and there's much, much more. So this is one way that, and see, we haven't even touched the iceberg of this. All I did was put in San Antonio, the ages of 18 to 25. Let's just say that they're interested in sports. And again, what this is you're setting yourself to look at the demographics before you start doing your targeting. Because once you have this down, then you can say, okay, my target market seems, well, we've actually shut it down from anybody else. Let's just open this up even further. So we're seeing that in between the ages of 18 and 45, that the largest percentage is what? In the 25 and 34 range. Okay? So this is a great way to really pinpoint and use your dollars in a much, much more smarter way. And I definitely recommend you do this before you do any advertising. And there are some people that are on the side of that boost is okay. I'm on the latter. I think that you're wasting your money. In my opinion, you can do what you want with your money. But if it were me, I would not do a boost because you're limiting yourself on the audience. Come to the ads manager and do specific targeting, but only after you've done the audience insights. So there is some homework that you should do way in advance before you actually start to just put out ads. And let me just say this, that ads are changing. Facebook, some people complain all the time about how Facebook changes everything. I don't like it either, but the one point I always make is it's their playground. They make the rules. So if you want to advertise, you got to follow those rules. And they used to have it where you could put a color border around the picture. They've stopped that. And I got kind of upset with Facebook the other day because I have a client that I was doing a video for, and it has, and I can go over this as well, but you have target placement areas. You have the mobile phone, which is where most people are nowadays looking at ads. Let me tell you, I wouldn't spend too much time advertising on the desktop. About 90 to 95% of the people that are seeing your ads are seeing it on a mobile device. They're not seeing it on desktops anymore. So it's important that you target these people. But I wanted to target, because this is what my client wanted, they wanted me to target on the desktop, which is the regular feed on a laptop or on a computer, as well as the mobile phone. But also, if you've ever seen those ads on the right side of a desktop, they're much, much more smaller. Okay, I was doing a video. So when you go through and you put in your advertising, your campaign, it has to go through an approval or disapproval process from Facebook. Well, it says on there that it can take up to 24 hours before your ad is approved. And generally it doesn't take that long. But this had been over a day. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. So I got through Facebook's chat area, because you can chat with them. And I asked them, I said, hey, look, this is kind of stuck here. And they told me that you couldn't have a video on the right column. And I said, if that's the case, I get that. But what you should do is you should X that out. You should not even have that as an option for us. You're wasting my time and my client's time. And they said, you know what, that's a very good point. My point in bringing all this up is there's changes all the time. And if you don't have a link to Facebook's chat support, I definitely recommend that you look for it and bookmark it. Because if you're not going to use somebody like me, you make sure that you want to be able to have access to them to answer questions for you. They're fairly good about it.
Say that again, Facebook what?
Facebook chat support. Okay. Any other questions so far? Okay. So now, again, I want to reiterate, I would not use the boost. Some people say you can, and others can't, say you shouldn't. Some say you should, so it really comes down to personal preference. Yes, sir?
Do you have a link of that, how to chat with the Facebook?
Get with me afterwards. I'll find it for you. But yeah, I do have it somewhere. Also, here's some other rules. You can't have more than 20% text on your ad. The reason why is because Facebook wants your post to look like a post. Their advertising post to look like a post. They don't want it to look like a graffiti. They want it to look professional. They want it to seem seamless. So they don't want a bunch of posting, text on there. So there is a tool. I have a tool. Let me see if I can. This is the actual tool. It's you can get with me after the class if you want to know this. But it's facebook.com/ads/tools/text_overlay. And why is this important is because here you can upload a file by saying choose the file. And when you, let me see if I can find a picture.
Do you mind going over that again a little slower?
Sure, I can do that. That's facebook.com/ads/tools/text_overlay.
So under tools, there's something called text overlay.
Right.
And it would be text_overlay.
Right. So basically what it does when you upload a picture onto there, and anywhere there is text, you click on those squares, and after a certain amount of squares, it'll tell you you've got 14% text, or you've got 20% text, or 24% text. So anything over 20, you may want to try and let me see if I can show you real quick. I've got a good one I can show you real quick. It's under Apricot Law. Let's see. No. I thought I had one in here. There's the actual ad. I guess not. Well, yeah. I really wanted to show you this feature. Well, let me just create something real quick. If you guys give me a chance, this is another tool I would definitely use if you're not using this. It's called Canva, C-A-N-V-A, canva.com. And let me see if I can find my... Give me a second, folks. I'm sorry for the delay. I just want to get to, I want to download one of the pictures that I've used and show you exactly what this is. So let's say we're going to have this, and this is I have a lawyer that's one of my clients, so they wanted me to use something similar to this. So let's say we're going to use a text, and I'm using one of these. This is another class in and of itself, is Canva. I know that Yusuf gives classes on this all the time. So we're going to say free website audit. We're going to use the color red. So then I want to make that bold. But it's not going to let me. So let's put it in uppercase. So okay, so now I want to download that real quick. So I'm going to download this, and then I'm going to upload it so I can show you how the tool works. Because what will happen is if you go through and you put in a photo and it has any text on there that's over 20%, they will kick it back to you. There is an approval or denial process that is involved. Wow, taking that long? But there is an approval or process that it has to go through. And if it's over 20% text, you're definitely going to get dinged. It will get kicked back to you. Let's see, cut this. Okay, so now I'm going to upload that into the grid tool. The internet is slow here, for me anyway. Okay, so you can see that these boxes appear. Come on. Here we go. So you see all these boxes that appear on the photo itself. Now, what you want to do is anywhere where there's actual text, you want to click one of those boxes. So right here, over to the side, it's telling me that there's 12% text. So you know right away that that should meet the standard. Anything over, like if I had, let's say 9 boxes here, already we're at 28%. So you can know right away that you're not going to waste time sending that ad through, which could take minutes or it could take hours for you to get their approval on that. So you can just go ahead and test that one way. So that's one of the rules that you want to make sure that you have. They used to allow you to do a color border around. They don't let you do that anymore. The reason why you would want to do that was you wanted to do a color that was opposite Facebook so that you could draw attention to your ad. It was like trying to get an edge, a lead somehow. But they're stopping that because they're getting get an idea of what people are trying to do. So let's go in. So let's just say that we've done our homework on the analysis of the demographics. We've gone through, we looked at the age, we've gone and looked at their lifestyle, their finances, the educational level, what is their marital status, things like that. And now you're ready to go ahead and create an ad. So what we're going to do is, first of all, you want to learn what their actual goals are when you're actually going to create a Facebook ad. What can you do with an ad? Well, number one, you can do a boost. Right here, you can boost. I don't recommend it, but you can. You can do a promote your page. If you want to get more likes, you can do that. I wouldn't spend a ton of money on that, but you can do that. If you want to improve your the amount of likes that you're getting on your page. To me, having so many likes can be a good thing, but in the majority of the time, I'd rather have 100 actual interested people than 1,000 likes. That 900 don't care anything about what I'm doing. It's quality over quantity, in my opinion. But there are some people that say, well, I'm not going to have anything to do with them because they only have 500 likes. If they're going to be that superficial or whatever, then that's another thing. But I'm not going to spend a lot of money on promoting a page. Maybe in the beginning when I have a new client, I might want to spend a little bit of money, but I'm not going to spend a lot, okay? All right, you want to, this is one of the most important ones, sending people to your website. Use the clicks to website objective to send people to your actual website. Now, What website are we talking about? Does it have to be your www page? No, not necessarily. It can be, does anybody know what a landing page is?
Forwarding page?
Yeah, it's a forwarding page. There are a lot of subscriptions that you can get to landing pages. I use one myself. But you can have them go directly to your page. Let's say, for instance, you're selling a product. Let's say wallets or purses. If you have an actual URL where the shopping cart is available, you can type that right into here. Has to be a valid one because Facebook's checking that, okay? But if you're wanting to take them right to the actual shopping cart right there and then, that's where you want to take them. Or if you have a registration page on within your regular site, you can do that as well. But a lot of times, some people will also use a landing page outside of their website because you can get a lot more specific with it. You can change things around. You can move things. You can integrate that back into your website with that service. Sometimes they keep it separate. So, I like to use landing pages a lot. Here's another thing I forgot to mention to some of you in the beginning. If you're a part of a corporation, it's extremely important that if you're doing something that is involving a corporation, maybe a realtor that is, Century 21 or something, does that mean you can't advertise? No, that doesn't mean you can't advertise. That just means you have to be a little more creative with your advertising. In that case, I would definitely create a Facebook page representing you and your services. You want to find out ahead of time what you can and cannot do within that corporate realm. What do they allow you and what do they not allow you to do? Because the last thing you want to do is get in trouble with your corporation over something like that. So, go over the terms of service with them because in this day and age, man, look at Steve Harvey the other night. Dude, the guy is toast right now. I feel for the guy. I believe that he made an honest mistake. But he's getting massacred. And some of it's funny, some of it's not. But I mean, if that was you, and the worst thing you want that to be is in your work-related issues, okay? Because everything is magnified so much more so now. Those corporations are really cracking down on what is allowed and what's not allowed on their social media or on people's social media if you're going to represent their company. So it's extremely important that you find that out. Okay? All right, so you can create a separate Facebook page, and you can start taking people to that page or to your landing pages. And so that's one thing. You can send people to your website, increase conversions on your website. If you have something that you're actually trying to sell within your website, you can do that there. Use the website conversion objective to promote conversions on your website. Is that the only way that you can create conversions? No. How many of you do conversions in some sort of lead, like you're wanting to get their email information or take them to an event, but you're still you're getting their information somehow? Anybody? Okay. All right. So that's really basically, it's either selling or you're getting a lead somehow. So that's really what it's all about. It is a lot easier to sell if you have a product, but not the only way. But there's a lot more steps involved if you're just getting through that lead sales funnel. I don't know if anybody has an app, but if you have an app, and I don't know if you've seen them, but on the actual Facebook, they have actual cool apps that people can download. So if you have an app, you can send them to download your app. You can increase engagement in your app. You can use the app engagement objective to increase engagement towards your app. You're asking people to try it out. I had some examples a long time ago in my Outlook. In my PowerPoints I could have shown you, but I don't have them tonight. Reach people near your business. This is important if you have an actual location. How many of you have ever noticed this when you're on your Facebook and you're at a restaurant and you see that they're showing you that they know that you're there and they're asking you to share your experience? Hey, we noticed you're at Chili's. Share or rate us. Have you ever seen that on your Facebook? How do they know that I'm here? Well, if you've got your location on, they've got what they call beacons inside those restaurants. So they know you're there. It's kind of similar in that fact when you're doing reach people near your business. If there are people that either live or they're traveling in and out of those areas, they're picking up on that through your location. Now, that can be scary to a lot of you, but in some ways that's extremely important for marketing. Because those that either live or are traveling in and out of those areas, now the ads will appear to only those people. So if you have a business and you only want to target people within a 5 or 10 mile radius because you're close by and you're having a grand opening or you're having a 15% discount or whatever that may be, now you can target people using the reach people near your business. Does that make sense? Okay.
Question.
Yes.
I could not get to that page where you're at now.
Okay.
I'm still at,
It was facebook.com/ads/manager. Didn't? Yes.
you didn't get to it from when we were at the insights?
Well, I don't
Can't
know.
click on like something at this point to get to it?
It's ads/manager, so just remove this portion, the audience. Yeah.
So you can't click on it.
And then just say manager, just type in manager. Could have opened up another window to do that too. Yeah, you've got to, yeah. There you go, okay. All right, so you can do that. Also, raise attendance at your event. I've done events before where, like for real estate, they had a grand opening for a new realtor that came to town. And they told me, yeah, we're having, it's going to be on Thursday, and it was Tuesday. And they're wanting me to go ahead and start advertising. I'm like, whoa, that's a lot. Okay. And then I had to quickly get the demographics of who they were wanting to target. And I think I spent $7 in 2 days, and we got over about 2,000 reach. Now, that's not always typical. You know, what does reach mean? That just means that it was able to get on 2,000 Facebook profiles. That doesn't mean they're going. That just means that it's been out there, that they've seen it. But we specifically targeted real estate agents. We targeted mortgagers and financiers, things like that. We targeted specifically those type of people to come on out. It was a live event. So if you're doing a lot of live events, I definitely encourage you to take a look at that and get very specific in your targeting. And use the ads manager to do that, not just a boost. Yes, ma'am.
How could you do that for an open house?
Yes, you can. You can do that for an open house, absolutely. And if you have, and here's the other thing, guys, when you're doing an event, make sure you get some good quality photos or videos. If you've had a past event, and here's what I tell people, Angel, I'm going to use you as an example. I don't know if where's Angel? Yeah, Angel? Okay. Angel was just doing a new Facebook Live. And he was in front of the camera, and he was saying that he was nervous. Well, you know what? You know, yeah, it would be nice if you were, you know, professionals. Not all of us, most of us aren't. But you know what? We're our worst critics. You know, I think that if you would just do, you know, you take pictures, I always tell people, take a ton of pictures, take video, take short bursts of videos, and you can use those a lot. We're, you know, there may be some people that are very picky about that, they don't like that. But for the most part, you're just sharing information for other people. So if you're at an open house that you know, and you want to promote the next one, take tons of pictures. And you know, then you can go back and later on and look at those and see which ones of those are better. Make sure you get lots of interacting and networking. Short burst of video, I wouldn't say any more than 30 to 60 seconds because people's attention span is very, very short. Try and make sure it's engaging. So, yes, definitely can do an open house. You can do a party, like an end of the year type, anything you want, any type of event that maybe you're doing a charity thing. Maybe you're trying to sell your book. Maybe you're trying to, you know, whatever. You can do this, and this is one way. The rules of the 20% do apply. Everything applies to this, just like everything else. I found that out the hard way. I was putting all this, this new person, and they kicked it back. I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. So you want to make sure that you adhere to the same terms of service there. I forgot to mention this in the beginning, terms of service. There are certain things that you can't do as far as advertising on Facebook. In most cases, you can't sell alcohol, and obviously drugs are not allowed, but things like online gambling, they're very, very particular. You've got to get very creative if you're wanting to do something along those lines.
Massage services?
I'm sorry?
Massage services?
I don't know about that.
Maybe, but
They're very picky about showing a lot of skin. If you're going to if you're going to show an ad where somebody's working out, it has to be in good taste. They're very picky because, they want to uphold a standard and they don't want to offend. So they're very, very particular about that. I definitely recommend taking some time and print out the terms of service and go through those. Another thing, supplements. Unless they're holistic and healing of nature, you really can't sell directly supplements on Facebook. Again, you can take them off site and you can do that way. You may have to think about your marketing campaign and the way that you're going to go about that. You want to get creative. But directly, no, you cannot. So there are certain things that you cannot advertise strictly right off of the bat. So raise your attendance to your event. How many have ever done sweepstakes or some sort of a contest? Anybody ever done a contest or something like that? That's another thing. You can get people to claim your offer. 20% off of, on the day after Christmas or whatever. And honestly, you can actually do that also. You can do that on your Facebook page. Let me take you to mine. Right on your Facebook page itself, there should be a way. This is the call to action where you want to sign them up for something. If you're saying, and you can put a claim, like if you're going to 20% off, this is where you want to have them sign up. So if they click here, you want to do a test button, a promote, this is all that I've done on my side here. But you can have that right on your Facebook site itself. Your Facebook page, I should say. So, you have your wonderful, engaging photo right there. Some people are very creative where they actually put the arrow right to that actual button. Click here. So, so there are a lot of things that you can do with that. So let me get back here. So claiming your ad. There's also something called Heyo, H-E-Y-O. Actually, Yusuf brought this up to me. If you are interested in doing products where you're doing contests or promotions, you might want to check out Heyo, or I call it Heyo. Basically, their products they do templates that work for contests, promotions, and deals. I'm sorry? H-E-Y-O. And basically, it's a monthly service where they have all these templates that you can utilize for your contests, promotions, or deals. So the pricing on that is, and I'm not here to promote any particular service, but a business plan is $25 monthly. Now I don't know, for me, I have clients, so I don't know if that just would be per person or, but for you, that may not be a bad thing if you're doing a promotion or a contest or a deal that you want to share out there so you can advertise it with one of their very professional looking templates. So, okay. And the last thing is get video. Use the video views objective to get people to watch your video. Ultimately, I guess I didn't even think about this, but sometimes people are just advertising for philanthropical reasons. Maybe they're wanting to do this because they're about a cause or they're doing something for charity or something like that. Again, though, they're probably still raising money for that, so it's still considered what I call a lead, if that makes any sense. Okay, so let's just go with the typical send people to your website. And then I'm going to just say focus for marketing because that's who I am.
So with each ad, you're choosing one of those objectives?
Right. Yes. Now, when you get into it and you actually create the ad, it will also say, do you want to create a similar ad? So you don't have to go start all over from the beginning. Can do that. But that's a good question.
You can use that on your personal page and the business page, or only through a business page? The ad?
Does it matter?
Well, basically, it is where you're wanting them to go to. Where are you trying to take them to
so
go
when you're
to?
creating that, you can be just on your personal Facebook. login.
Yeah. I'm not exactly, you're asking me if can you do this from the ads manager from your personal profile?
Right.
Yes, you can. That's where you're. Okay. So right now, I'm saying when somebody goes to my home, this is I haven't even talked about pixels, but I can later on. But I created a pixel. Does anybody know what a pixel is?
Picture element.
What's that?
Picture element.
Pixel. Pixel.
Yes, it stands for pixel element.
Do you know can you tell me what that is?
A picture is made up of all these tiny little dots.
That's true, but in this case, it's a little different from what we're trying to. Have you ever said, maybe I've used this analogy before, if you've gone to, say, Red Bull or Nike or a site, and now you're on your Facebook and you see an advertisement for Nike. How did that happen? How did they know I was just on there? It's a retracking mechanism. It's a way that you can track people that have visited your site, because maybe you have gone there to buy something, but maybe the kids got home, or maybe you got distracted, or maybe, and you were on the shopping cart and maybe you're about to pull that trigger, or maybe you didn't like the shipping cost, or whatever the element may have been. So what you're wanting to do is with that pixel, it's a piece of code that when you create a pixel, you can use that code to put it in your website, so that every time somebody visits, and you can make the definitions of what they do when they get there. You can say, for every 30 days that they have visited, if they haven't visited my site within the next 30 days, send them a link or a showing of my page somehow. It shows a graphic or something of your page. So if you say for the next 30 days, if they haven't come back, now they may get that up there. You can say 90 days. You can say if they haven't bought something, so there's a lot of things you can do. That's a powerful thing. You can use that for conversions, meaning that if you're using a pixel for conversions, meaning that you've said, okay, now let's just say that you're trying to get an email address. So they put in their email address and they submitted it. That's a conversion. That means you got it. Now you're redirecting them to a thank you landing page in most cases. So you can put the pixel on the thank you page. That's considered a conversion, so you can track it that way. Jeremy mentioned pixels in the back, so that's what he was talking about. He's able to track to see what kind of conversions that he's able to get, so he can go back and look at that. It's called analytics. Okay, yes, sir.
Now, I bought a pair of tennis shoes. Like the next week, I got the exact picture of my tennis shoes.
Right.
As an ad.
Yeah, I've done that with golf. I love golf,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, hey, wait, I already bought it, So, what's that?
Are you going to buy another one?
No.
And sometimes those people that send them out, they're probably not doing their homework enough. If you've already bought, they should already take you off. They shouldn't be targeting you again, because that can be an annoyance. How many of you like to be retargeted each and every time you made a purchase from that same person? So that may not be the best interest. But see, but it is important that you think about doing targeting doing some retargeting. So that is something I definitely would highly encourage you to learn more about. I will say this, that Microsoft is changing that. After the second quarter, I think it is, of 2016, they're doing away with what they call the old conversion pixel. You're going to have to go to a new one. Honestly, I haven't really investigated that as much as I should, and I should do that. That's in my field. But I need to go back and look at that. But conversion pixels, retargeting pixels are very good. Let me ask you a question real quick. How many of you have a large email list? Okay, did you know that you can use that email list within Facebook, that you can actually import it in and actually target people that are on your email list? And not only that, let's just take it a step further. There's another thing you can do. So let's call that list A, the ones that were interested. You've imported them in. That's called list A. Now you're going to specifically target based on the interest that you're putting in. So let's say 500 of those people, maybe 200 qualify based on the interest that you're putting in. You can now do a second list, which is called like-minded audiences. Those that are similar to the interests that they have. So now you can target a new list of people that you don't even know. So there's some power in that. So there's some definite things. Of course, I'm getting way off track, but what I'm trying to show you is there's a good potential there if you have a good lead, if you've got a good amount of email lists. And I definitely recommend, if you don't learn anything from this class, learn this. The power is in the email list, whether you're doing Facebook ads or not. Because why? Because you want to be able to market to those people much later after you get their information. So if you're not using or actively pursuing, and I'm pretty sure Jeremy can tell you, they work. You target people, that's how you do it. Because once you have them on your email list, chances are they may eventually opt out if they're really seriously not interested. But, man, you may have a deal that just catches them. Or if you're in a certain particular aspect that, they haven't reached it, but that one particular email catches their attention, or whatever you're selling, and then you've got the sale. And then sometimes they'll go a year, but then they'll eventually opt out. Some never do opt out. Maybe they're not really using that. There is a new lead out there that you can use. I'm not going to talk about that tonight. It's called Facebook Lead Ads. What is that? Basically, Facebook Lead Ads is allowing you, let's say I'm browsing on my phone and I see maybe I'm wanting to buy a new home. Or maybe I'm wanting to sell my home. Let's just go that way. I'm wanting to sell my home, and I want to see what the value is of my home, right? That's a fair question. So, okay, cool. Yeah, I'd like to know because I'm interested in selling my home. So what you can do is you click on the ad, and they will take the information that you have already included in Facebook, your name, your phone number, and the primary email. That's important because a lot of times people give emails, but they're not their main primary email. They'll send you their second or third email. They're really not going to check that. They just want the gift or whatever you're offering. This gives the primary one. The problem with that, though, is it can't be integrated into your email service. If you know what I mean by email service, Constant Contact, MailChimp, those, it does not integrate it into that. What you have to do is each and every time you have to check that constantly. So that's right now, that's not very, very good. But what it is good for is for those that are actually filling it out. If they can continue to browse on Facebook without having to be taken off of Facebook, that's a very attractive thing for them. So they're interested. You've already got my information. Yeah, okay, it's all sent. Now I can continue to look at, my brother's wedding. So, but there's a trade-off. You don't get that import of the entire list. So, so that's where we're at as far as goals. So you want to take a look at your audience first on Facebook through Audience Insights, but only after let me take this back. You want to make sure you actually define who your ideal buying persona is. Who is your audience? And Angel can tell you this, that I actually made his wife and him sit down, and I actually had them go through it and say, okay, I want you to actually name the person. I think she named it Nancy and Hugo. And I actually gave them, okay, how old was the individual? How many kids did they have? Because what you're doing is you're wanting to target that specific type person the most. Then you match it up with your audience insights, and then you start your advertising. Okay. How many of you are planning to do video at all? Let me tell you one thing. Make sure it's captivating on the first 1 to 2 seconds. If you don't catch them right there, you're done. Saying that right now. You better get them from the beginning. Why? Because I skip almost every ad on YouTube. If it doesn't catch my attention, I'm done. And how many of you have kids that have the attention span of less than a 0? We're getting that way in the society. If it doesn't catch our attention right then and there, we're done. So make sure that your video, if you have somebody famous, or if it's an activity that's extremely engaging, you want to start right from the beginning. Make sure it catches their attention on video. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and set our audience and budget now. So we've done the homework. We've gone through the audience insights. All right. Let's say that I still want to stay within San Antonio. So now I want to get rid of the United States. Oh, and by the way, you can actually do zip codes. I had a client one time, it was a tree service, and they only wanted to target people in the Fair Oaks and Bernie area. I asked them why. They said because they have money and they know their trees. So I targeted only those areas for them. Okay, so in this instance, let's just use the zip code 78, what is this, 240 here? We could say that. So look at that. If I wanted to just target people in a certain zip code, I can do that. So that's the one thing. I'm not going to do that. I just wanted to show you that. Let's just take it back up to San Antonio.
Can you put multiple zip codes in there?
Oh, absolutely. Let's do that. 78229. There you go. Let's put in 78240. Here you go. See that? Any other questions on that? And look at this over to the right. This is important right here. Audience definition. Because I put that, here's the only demographics. I've got these two zip codes, ages 18 through 65, men and women, and nothing else. The potential reach just on that alone is 77,000 people. Now, people ask me all the time, what's a good number to reach? I think that's really important based on what your aspects and goals are. But typically about 5,000 to 7,000 is a good number. Could be more, could be less. But you want to definitely get very specific on your targeting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of there and I'm going to go back to, but it can definitely be 30,000. It can be more. Yes, ma'am.
What if you wanted to target like an apartment complex? Do you put the address of the complex or the name of the complex?
I don't think you can do it that specifically. What's the name of the complex?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Legend Oaks Apartments.
No. Address not found. Do you know the address?
No, I sure don't.
I know an address for an apartment complex. It's the Vintage Apartments, 7733 Lewis Pasteur. 7733
Louis Pasteur.
Louis Pasteur. If you go to zip. Okay, 78229.
I would say that what you want to do in that situation is target in the zip code.
In the zip code.
Yeah, that's what I would do. So if you're saying, and I'm assuming you're in realty, so you're targeting those that are not that are not homeowners. Okay, so let's do that real quick. Let's just take it. She's got an example there. So in this case, I'm not going to use your zip code. I'm going to use all of San Antonio. But you've seen that we can target based on zip codes. Okay, so in this case, let's go San Antonio. Oops, excuse me.
Does it give the source of the information it's using?
I'm sorry?
Does it give the source?
What do you mean the source? How do they get this information? A lot of it comes through the, those are,
Do they state it on there?
What do you mean?
They should. It's like, where do they get the data?
Oh, no, that a lot of it comes from their algorithm. Every time everybody shares, likes, comments, but they also have third parties that do research for Facebook. Is it 100% accurate? No. But let me tell you, it's in Facebook's interest to make sure that they're actually getting good, credible information.
Well, like the demographics, I mean,
Yeah.
they could be using census data, right?
I don't know that. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. You might want to check that out yourself. But, okay, so San Antonio, now look here. You can say I want a particular 10 miles. It can go down as low as 10 miles. It can go out as far as 50, or you can customize it. Let's say you want to say 35, so we say 35 miles. So if you wanted to go within a certain radius, we'll use the standard 25. Okay, so that we're now, and apartment dwellers, we'll say maybe 25 to
35.
Okay, so we're just going to limit it to that. Again, I definitely encourage you to go through the audience insights first to do that, because you can put all of this information in the audience insights. So that's why you want to do that, because you're looking for that age group that you're wanting to target based on the interest that you put in. So in this case, we're going to say 25 to 35. When we did that, we now have 430,000 people in the San Antonio area based on that information And here's where the interesting stuff gets. This is what I love. And demographics. This is the drop down here. You have everything from educational, ethnic affinity, financial. If you're wanting to target people that have an income or a net worth of a certain amount of money, look at this. I want to target in between $100,000 and $125,000 a year. You know, let's say over 500,000, so they have to be at least half a millionaire. So whatever. So that's one thing you can do. Let's go back into education. You can say college grad, high school, in college, in high school. So those another thing. Field of study, you can do that through various schools, colleges. If you're targeting through particular colleges, you can do that. Undergraduate years. Generation, you know, Generation X, baby boomers, millennials. Homes, this is the one you want to get into. Household type, home ownership, first-time home buyers, homeowners. In your case, we're looking for renters. Okay, so now we put that in there, and now it went from 430,000 to 78,000. So now we're getting very, very specific. So why is it important? Remember what I told you. If you have people that are coming into a convention, you only want those that are actually targeted. So now what's going to happen is if we did nothing else, and we put this ad out with your picture or your video or whatever you're doing, only people that fall into that category that have mentioned that they're between this age and that age and they are renting are going to see those ads in most likelihood. You know, you may have some that maybe have changed. There's also a category, I believe, that's most likely to buy a home or something like that. I think that falls under the, see if I can get back to it real quick, life events. New job, new real estate, new relationship, recently moved. I don't think it's most likely to buy a home. Yeah, recently moved. It's most likely it's not there any longer. Used to have that. So they recently moved. So these are very, very specific. Somebody else give me an interesting target demographic that they're looking at. I have a couple of people here that are here involved in weight loss. So we can say weight loss, those that are interested in losing weight. You can put, you know, let's see, weight, or healthy diet. You could say healthy diet. And also it gives you suggestions out here, dieting. You know, so in this case for renters, let's look for those that are in apartments. So you could say apartments. Apartment, then there's renting, multifamily home, condominiums, things like that. So there's all these different ones. And I did a class a couple of months back, and I asked people to give me just give me ideas of what demographics they were looking for. And I said, just name anything. I don't care what it is. And some guy put screwdriver. I said, screwdriver? So I put that in. I put in screwdriver. And guess what happened? It asked me if I was interested in the tool or the cocktail. So what am I interested in? That's how specific. And when I started getting into this, and I'll tell you why I got into it. I was looking at social media as a way of doing my work, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. My mother is she's an author. She's trying to finish up on her book, and she wanted me to help her try to sell it. And so I started looking at ways, and I found out that small businesses were able to leverage their advertising dollars against the big company brands in a much easier fashion using Facebook advertising. You know, there are some, I'll just be honest with you, there's just some that it's not going to work. You might be better off going with Google AdWords. It's something that you might want to touch base with a specific specialist in the industry. Yusuf is one, myself, and find out, does my actual industry work? Real estate can work. That's definitely one of them. If you're an author, that definitely can work. You can take them to your Amazon, whatever that might be. You're in the healthcare facility, you can make that work. There's definitely ways that you can work, but there's some that may not. You know, so and I could touch base with you about that. So, but one day when I started learning about this more, I wanted to profile even myself. And some are probably bored of hearing this story, but I am huge on international soccer. I love international soccer. There's a gentleman, he's from Italy, I think, and he pretty much probably knows how international soccer is huge. We in the United States don't even have the tip of the iceberg. But there's a particular team that I like in Liverpool, England, called Everton. And Everton is my favorite football team of all. And I just wanted to I wanted to see if that was actually in there, and I couldn't believe when I found out that my Everton Football Club was there. So whatever your demographic is, I don't care how, that's why it's important for you to get very, very specific on what, and here's another thing. Look at the target through their eyes. Look at what they're interested in, not what you're interested in. I'll give you an analogy. Let's say you're wanting to go and buy a brand new car. Maybe the most important thing for you as a buyer is the safety for you and your family. But here I am, the salesman, and I'm trying to tell you all about, it's got the latest GPS, it's got this, it's got Bluetooth, it's got this.
You can play DVDs while you're driving.
You don't care about any of that. I'm trying to sell you on stuff that you don't even care about. So it's important for you to try and look at the lead or those that you're interested from their point of view, not necessarily yours. You may want to do investigations on that, marketing analysis, surveys, whatever you can to try and find out what that is. But it's important for you to look at it through their eyes as well as doing it also from your eyes. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's say, now, let me get this out of here. You got renters, you got apartment renting. I'm just going to take these others out. We're just going to go with those that are renting. Let's just say we're going after those that are single. Let's say we're going after maybe, let's put it down from 25 to say 19 through 25 because now we're trying to target that college kid. That's, in your instance, you're trying to get them to sell. But let's say we're trying to, no, I'm sorry, I forgot. Let's go with the older audience because, from 25 to say 50 because they are trying to buy a home. Okay.
Or sell.
Or buying or sell. Yeah, so you could actually do that as well. You can do a lead. That's another thing. You want to make sure that your lead is something that's actually going to be interesting to them. Whatever you're trying to do, whenever you're trying to take them away from Facebook, make sure it's important enough to them that they're going to say, you know what, it's worth my time going away from this. I'll go ahead and take some time away from Aunt Sally's wedding to look at this. And I'll fill out the information. Because if you don't make it, and let's just face it, folks, people are selfish. They want it, what's in it for me? So you better make sure that your offer, or whatever it is that you're offering them, is enticing enough. The graphics are great, the video is great, but if the offer is junk, it doesn't matter. And make sure that wherever you're redirecting them to is engaging to them, whether it's on your own website or whether it's on a landing page that is showing them, hey, this is a good thing for me. I'm glad I came here because this is going to benefit me on this way. Okay, so that's another thing to be very, very, specific. All right, so now we have 140,000 people, and here's another thing. You can have a budget that's either daily or lifetime. So if you go down here it says, how much do you want to spend? Let me tell you, once you put that money in, Facebook's not going to go over that. It would be foolish for them to go over your budget because, wait a minute, I didn't ask you to spend 25. I only wanted 20 on that lifetime budget or on that daily budget. If they do that, they may lose you as an advertiser. So they don't want to do that. They want to make sure that they stick to it. Yes, sir.
What that means, that lifetime or daily?
It's a very good question. Daily means that each and every day they will spend up to, not always, they may not hit your total daily budget, but they will not go over, let's say we're in this case, $20 a day. So each day for a daily budget, if you advertise 5 days in a row, it can go up to $100. Now, if you wanted to say lifetime, you click on this and go lifetime. What that does right there is is that populated from the $20. But let's say we just wanted to use a lifetime budget of $20. What it does then is it says, okay, how many days do you want to schedule this out? So let's just say $100. So it's going to say, when do you want to start it and when do you want to finish it? And they will spread that money out over the amount of days that you're asking. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. But I got another question. Can you, like in radio, you can buy, most of the people buy morning drive, afternoon drive, and nobody wants the weekend.
Yeah.
That's how it works in the regular, because that's how when people's driving. Or is there something in Facebook that if your ad comes in the morning or
yeah, you can schedule it. There are schedulers. Yeah, you can do that. Now you have to, in that case, you have to be on a lifetime budget. You cannot do that on a daily budget. You have to do it on a lifetime budget. But yes, you can schedule. You can say, I only want it to be between these hours and on these specific days. Yes, you can do that. Another thing that you can, good question, by the way. Another thing that you can do, let's say you're having something that is only for a limited time and it's a rush. Let's say it's 7 days and it's only 7 days. You can do an accelerated campaign, meaning that you're wanting Facebook to rush as many ads to the type of people that are interested. You know, it's the first of the year, folks. Now it's time. You know, don't delay. You only have 3 days for this, and you want all that money being pumped out to those people as quickly as possible. Now, what you have to do is you have to go in there and look at all the different categories. So when you click on accelerated, it may say you can only do this if you're on a lifetime budget. I think that's the way it is with the accelerated.
What about if I want only Saturdays and Sundays?
You can do that, but you have to be on a lifetime budget. You have to click on lifetime. You have to give it a scheduled date. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Can you go between lifetime and daily? Can you switch back and forth?
You know what? I've never done that. That's a very good question. I would try it. You know, hey, I got stumped tonight. I got to go back and check that out for myself. That's good. I didn't know that. That's a very good question, and one I would try. You may want to separate them, though. You may want to say, I'm going to do dailies in one campaign and in another. And I don't have my PowerPoint, but there's a hierarchy for the campaigns. It's at the top, it's campaigns, then it's ad sets, and then it's ads. Campaigns are, let's say, Dallas and Houston. You're going to target people in Dallas and Houston. The ad set is, I'm going to target those between the ages of 18 and 25. And the other ad set is from 26 to 35. Okay, so those are different ad sets with different demographics. The actual ad itself is the name of the ad and where you're actually building the ad. So that's the hierarchy of it. Campaigns, ad sets, and ads. That's how it works. You know, we didn't have our PowerPoint presentation tonight, but that's the way it is.
Can you give us some idea as to what $250 will buy you?
I can't do that. Everyone is different. That's one thing I was going to say at the end of this campaign. A lot of it is trial and error. You definitely want to take what I would do. This is what I tell people that want to do something on their own without getting a specialist involved, is to dip your foot in the pool and use a certain amount of money. After you've done your homework, do all the demographics, and then just check it. You don't have to check it all the time, you know, multiple times a day. Take at least once a day, twice a day, and take a look at it, and then see how it's running. And you can start to see how many ads or how much reach you're getting per day and how much you're spending. It will tell you. This right here, let me see if I can open this up in another area. Go to my ads manager here. We go to my Facebook ad site. This right here at the top, billing. You know, all this right here, I haven't spent any of my money. This is, you know, this is just my particular account. I don't want to go into any of my clients, but basically this will tell you how much you're spending each and every day. Over here on the side right here, it'll say what you spent the last 30 days, and you can say lifetime, today, yesterday. You can go a specific amount of calendar days to see how much you spent.
So when you spend clients' money,
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea how much you typically spend and what that
I
ad
go
is
over
for.
that with them individually based on their goals and things like that. But generally, for somebody like you, if you're going to start off, I would say at least spend $100 to see where you're at. That's what I call dipping your foot in the pool to see what it's like, you know. But it's also about this. If you're out there putting out flyers, the more flyers you put out, the more hits you're possibly going to get. The same thing with your money that you put in advertising. The more money you put in, the more reach you're going to get. But it also goes down to conversion. You know, if you get 1,000 leads, the percentage of good conversion is about 1% or less than that, actually. You know, that sounds crazy, but that's true. You know, so the more money you put to get that lead, and it also is determined by what is your offer. What are you offering them? Are they going to be something that's interested? Here's the one thing that Facebook does do is if your ad is a good ad that people like and are responding to, you'll actually get the cost per click will actually decrease because you're providing relevant information for that individual. But if your ad is junk and people are not responding to it, then your ad may increase. So if your ad cost is 75 cents a click, you know, but you're providing them valuable information, the relevancy, there's what they call a relevancy score. It's from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest is also the best, 1 being the lowest. So if your relevancy score is at, say, a 7, that's a good thing. So they may go down from 75 cents a click for that cost down to maybe 60 cents. But if your ad is junk to those people because they're saying, do not show this ad to me anymore, I'm not interested in that ad, then it may go up to $1.25 or maybe even higher. So all of that is a lot, you know, that's where your strategies have to come in, particularly with, you know, if you're going to hire somebody on something like that, they would have to sit down and go over your goals, what are you wanting to do, and talk with you. But I would specifically say, starting off, use about $100 just to see where you're at. But that is not atypical. That could be anything in between, you know. So, you know, I could talk to you about that later on if you wanted to. But that's definitely, when you're starting out your ad campaign, that's what I would start off with, at least that. Okay. Any other questions on that? Okay, let's move on here to going back here. So now we've got $100 for the lifetime budget. We're going to start it on, say, December 23rd. And we're going to go for a couple of weeks. So let's say the 18th, maybe more like three weeks. Okay, so the estimated daily reach, this is out here, is in between 700 and 1,900 people per day. Even though we have a lifetime budget, this is the estimate of how many people would see that ad per day. This is out of 110 that we saw that was targeted. You saw on that right side, you saw 110,000 people that were renters that were in the age of 25 to 50 that are in San Antonio. There's about 110,000 people. So that what this is saying that is if you spend $100 over that lifetime, now let me increase that a little bit. Let's go to 200. Look at that. Now the reach has increased. Okay, so this is your question. Okay, yeah, this is an example. But this is just reach. That doesn't mean they're going to click on your ad. You know, this is just reach. So the more money you put into it, the more reach you can hit. Let's go up to 5. Now your reach has gone up even higher. The chances of conversion based on what you're selling them or what you're trying to offer them. Here's another thing down here, folks. I would definitely, in my opinion, I would definitely let Facebook do this side of things, at least early on. Whether you know about it or not, there is a bid process that's going behind the scene. Not only you are targeting those type of people. There are others out there that are doing the same thing. So there's a bid that's going on. And so they will utilize a certain cost per click behind the scenes. But you're saying, you're saying let Facebook set the bid that helps you get the most link clicks at the best price. Now you can override that. If you click on manual here, it's going to tell you that your cost suggested is in between 3 cents and 19 cents. I'm going to say let's go 25 cents. so that we would be the highest of this suggested price. So you can do that. I wouldn't mess with that right now, especially if you're early on. Allow Facebook to do that. But this is the goal here, or optimization for ad delivery. Link clicks to your website. This will deliver your ads to the right people to help you get the most clicks from your ad to your website at the lowest cost. Impressions. We will deliver your ads to people as many times as possible. So if you're not so much into quality as you are as you want the most people to see your ads, then you might want to go with impressions or your daily unique reach. We'll deliver your ads to people up to once a day. What that means is I only want that to get to unique people. I don't want it to be multiple times on somebody else's profile that has seen it 2 or 3 times. I want it to be 1,000 different people, not 500 that have seen it twice. Does that make sense? So all of those areas are what you can do. I definitely say in the beginning, let Facebook do that for you, because they're basically going to try and get you the best results from the money that you're putting forward. Okay, here's what you were talking about, running the ads. I want to run it on a schedule. So here we go. So what you can say is I want it to go on, let's say you were saying in the morning, so let's say 9 to 12 p.m. on Monday, Tuesday, let's forget about Thursday, let's say Friday, and then maybe on Sunday. So only those ads will be shown on the days that you have colored in.
If I don't do it that way, will they be putting ads like on 3 in the morning?
It can, yes. You know, on my phone, because I have different clients, I don't use this type. I can, but I have an app for it, and I shut them off. You know, I could do it this way, but I usually don't. You know, that's because I'm the hands-on kind of guy. I like to work with it. Yes, sir.
If that ad goes on, that person is actually on Facebook at that time? Or
I've never been asked that question.
3 o'clock in the morning. If they say an ad.
If they're on and they're seeing, yes, yeah, you know, because when you click on an ad, if you ever refresh your page, you also see another ad. So yes, they're going to count it only when it's actually been on your Facebook. Now, does that mean you see it?
No,
Maybe no. You may just be scrolling through, but yes, only if you're on there. Yes, ma'am.
So I'm not on Facebook every day.
Okay.
If somebody's trying to target a group that I'm in, and I'm not on Facebook one day, of course I'm not going to see it. I do get into Facebook the next day, and am I likely to see that ad?
You're likely to see it if you're being targeted because you fit the profile.
And Facebook knows that I'm logged in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're on, they see that you're on, and you fit the criteria of a certain person that's looking to buy a home or looking to sell their home. Yeah, chances of you getting it is yes. You know, so does that make sense?
If you're one of the 1,700 or whatever.
If you're one of the original 110,000 that were, but you're talking about the amount of total people that were being targeted right here, right here. Yeah. If you're one of, that's just an average of what they're saying. The amount of people for your dollar amount that you're spending. The more money you spend towards that, the more reach you're going to get. You know, so. That's what I meant earlier. Sorry, I didn't mean to confuse you there earlier. So, all right. Okay. So, and at the end, this is the ad set name, and we can choose that if you wanted to. Choose the ad creative. Now we're going on into this. Now this is where you are importing your pictures, your videos, things like that. Now I talked about this earlier. I would definitely use Canva. Canva's one. It's not the only one. But Canva to me is the easiest one as far as, let me show you a little bit about Canva here real quick. Why is this good?
Because it gives you already the size of the ad.
Exactly, excuse me. That's exactly right. If you're logged into Canva, you can go over here and click this More button.
So then you have to worry only to put 20% text on the rest.
Right. And you want to put in, right down here at the bottom is something called Facebook ad. When you do that, you bring up, it gives you the actual size. So in this case, we're just going to Now, in Canva has these, see this dollar sign? That means that you can get this. It's usually for $1 a piece. But if I have uploads, if I have like this right here, now this one won't work. I'm going to use this one instead. This is for an actual lawyer client of mine. Looks like a very distinguished individual. So,
C-A-N-V-A?
I'm sorry?
C-A-N-V-A?
C-A-N-V-A, yes. Let me use this one. This is one I like even better. I found this on Facebook. I found this on one of my sites that I look for stock picks, and I love this picture. And this was for an SEO client. They were looking to get search engine optimization. So my, please don't take this in a wrong way. It's only me looking at it from the demographics. I wanted to target women with this picture because of the color. And it was for lawyers. So we were looking for lawyers. And search engine optimization, I don't know if you know what that is, but basically anytime you put in a Google search, chances of you being seen if you're on the 3rd or 4th page are very small. So what they were trying to do is they're trying to target people that are interested in search engine optimization. So when I built my what is called ad copy, which is the wording that you put on an ad, I basically compared this to if you don't have good search engine optimization, it's like having no bridge in place. So that's why I used it. It's a very engaging picture. I think it's very like, oh, okay, what is this all about? I could put some text on there if I wanted to. I could come over here and put some text and say, put this over here. And then I can continue with my ad copy and my ad, so I'm not using too much text. I'm just using that as an example. I'm not going to use that one. But this tool right here allows you to get the actual targeting, size of your ad to the actual Facebook ad that is needed. So once I'm finished, I just click on download and I save that as a PNG. So I'm going to use this one real quick in the ad real quick just to give you an example. So we download it. Okay, now we're going to go into the Ads Manager here. We're going to say, now there's 2 ways that you can do pictures. You can do a single, or you can do what is called a carousel. Have you seen those ads that they have like a slide that have like 3 or 4 pictures or 5 pictures? I think it's as low as 2 to 5 pictures, I think is what you can do. But the great thing about that, I did this successfully for my landscaping guy, is doing before and after pictures. Same thing, so I showed the yard before and then afterwards, and that was very, very instrumental in getting more clicks for the client. And the great thing about that is at the bottom of each one, you can put a little separate little ad copy. So, whatever you're trying to tell, and that's basically what it is. It's about telling a story in that situation. I was telling the story about, hey, not wanting to do this. Wouldn't you rather be picnicking with your family than taking care of the yard type of thing? Mm-hmm. So all of these things that I could do, but I could do that on each individual picture, just a snippet of information for each one. So that's what's good about the carousel. The bad part is people don't like to usually scroll that much all the time, unless it's very, very interesting to them. Okay, so in this case, we're going to go with single picture. Select images. We're going to browse. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to upload an image. Now, at the top here, let me take you through that again. You may not have understood that. See, at the top here, we've got either create a new ad or use an existing post. In this case, we're going to use create a new one. You're going to use a single image. And it's down here. It says, do you want to browse the library? This is pretty cool. You can actually use stock images now. Stock images like Shutterstock and others, they're actually involved with Facebook now. It's like cool. Because it's like free advertising for them. Hey, you like these? So let's say we go in here and we say we want to go into let's say apartments. Let's put in homes. Okay, so we're doing this under stock images, right? look at all what shows up. So you can take one of those and you can put it in there. So you can highlight it. You can, oh, look at that. That's nice, right? So look at that. You can use their photos if you want. Me personally, sometimes I have used that. But let's say you want to upload one. Let's say we want to use the one that I had. So you click on this right here, upload images. Let me take you through that again. You're down here, browse the library or free stock images. In this case, we're going to say browse library. I want to upload the image, or I could use one that I've already got here. In this case, I'm going to upload, and then I'm going to click here and upload that photo. In this one, it's that one there. And then I'm going to say...
You're saying some of those stock images are free?
I'm sorry?
You're saying they have a section of free stock
Yeah,
images?
those are all free right there. Those are all free to use.
They work out, you only give them free?
Yes, you can use their stock images there.
Now,
Okay.
the image had their name on it.
I'm sorry?
The image had their name.
Yeah,
on it.
that may be true, but when you go in there and actually import it in there, it will be without that.
Right.
So it's a way that they're getting advertising for their company by partnering with Facebook.
Their logo watermark then disappears.
Yes, exactly. So we're going to delete that one, and we're only going to use this one. So now when we scroll down here, now you can see, now we may need to look at it this way by scrolling it, but what this is this is showing you the desktop view, which is on, if you're using a laptop, it's going to be in the center of your Facebook. Have you ever seen on a desktop where you have the ad that's in the center? Okay, that's what a desktop news feed ad is. The other one is a mobile news feed, and this is the one that I think that you should pay the most attention to. I wish that they would allow this to be bigger, but they don't. So in this case, if you don't want certain ones to be added, you can click on remove. So if we didn't want anything but mobile, we could say remove desktop views. So once you do that, it's X'd out there. See that? Let's say we want to add it back. So what this is doing is this giving you a preview of your ad right here. So how it looks. Okay, so you're coming in here. So now we're on mobile. You click on mobile, and now you see that. It's important to target this one because when you're putting in your ad copy, your wording, you want to find out how much is actually being read. Because you may be on an ad and then you're going too long, and then next thing you know, they're not able to read it all. And they may not be willing to go and click it. So brevity, or being brief, or being short and to the point is definitely something you might want to be here. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
When you take out an ad, can you spend your money specifically on mobile rather than desktop?
Yes, you can. Absolutely, you can. All you have to do is remove the other tabs.
Okay.
And in Jeremy's case, what he was talking about earlier is about Instagram. Look at this. Unable to display this view. I'm not exactly I'm not exactly sure why that's happening, but normally you can be able to see the view of the Instagram ad as well. Okay? I'm not sure why that's happening here. I've never really figured this one out. Audience network, it's the audience placement extends your ad reach by showing them to the same target audience on other mobile apps approved by Facebook. I'm thinking that's like tablets and things like that. I'm not totally sure what that is all about, but I remove that generally. Desktop right client, in this case, I don't mind it if we were going after renters. So this will also show you what that looks like. This is very, very small. This is on the right side of a desktop. If you've ever seen that, you'll see right here that you don't have very much ad copy. So the wording you put here has to be very, very short, or it's going to be cut off. They're going to actually literally have to click on that ad to find out what it's about. It may not even be worth it. And be honest with you, there's a very, very small chance that somebody will click on it. But it's also the cheapest one, but the least effective in my point of view. So let's turn that off then. We don't want the desktop right column. So right now we're only going to target on Instagram, desktop news feeds, and mobile news feeds. So that's one thing. Now we're going to go into what is called the ad copy, the wording that you're using. Okay, the headline, the text, and then the call to action. So let's say this. People ask me all the time, what's a good way to target, to use ad copy? Be simple, be effective. One of the ways that you can do that is by asking a question. Tired of living in an apartment? That's either a yes or a no question. There either are or they're not. You know, looking to get your home appraised, you know, wanting to know what the value of your home is, that's very specific, and it's a question. You know, so those are things. But also, be creative. Think of some other ways that, you know, that are outside of the box that might be engaging to that demographic. If you're looking for the younger generation, you have to look at it from their mindset. You may want to get other people involved, and maybe you don't have their mindset, or you want to get somebody else's point of view. You may want to try and do some surveys or investigate or interviews or whatever to that matter. So those are all things to think of. But being simple and being a cut and dry question is usually a good way. So we'll just use that from the example. So let's see here. Excuse me. So we're going to say, it says that, but you know, not always is that the case, right? In this case, even though they're saying that, it still shows up. So I'm asking a very specific question. I'd like to know the value of your home. So then that's on the headline there. Now, we will actually show you what the real value your home is if you were to sell it today. And again, play with that ad copy as much. Now in this, it's not cutting anything off. Now if I kept going on and on, it may cut that off. So in this instance, we've got a good view on the mobile. We've also got very good view on the desktop view. Now here's the call to action. The call to action buttons, if you just didn't say anything, you may want to put somewhere on your ad copy, click here. Sometimes, I hate to say it, people need to be handheld. But one of the things is you can choose a button. In this case, we can say shop now. Let's say you're taking them to a product. So you're going to say shop now. And what that does is once you click on shop now, it's going to eventually show that up. See that? There's your call to action. Okay? So that's shop now. Book now if you have like an appointment or an event. Learn more. Maybe you're trying to whet their appetite with something and you're saying, hey, if you want to learn more, if you want to be more successful in your business, I have 3 top tips for you. Learn more. You know, then you give them that call to action and then you take them to that landing page or wherever you get to get that information from them. Sign up. You know, would you like that new, our new class that's being done? You know, sign up today. Download, if you have an app. That's a great way to do it. Download the app today. Want to learn the value of your car? Or want to learn what the cost of the vehicle before you actually buy? Download our app today. That type of thing. So watch more. If you got the video, this is a good way to say, hey, watch more. Okay? Apply now. Looking to get a new home? Want to know if you're pre-approved? Apply right here. Donate now. Philanthropical. If you're wanting to do something where you're providing a cause or you want to get money to raise for a particular purpose, you can do donate now or just want to contact us. Now what I do on some of my clients is I actually do both collecting the information via an email, but I also have on my landing pages where they can click right from the phone and they can either text or call you. So that's what I do on for my clients as well. And that to me is a very effective way, because if they click on that landing page and it says click to call or text, and they click on that ad right or that button right from their phone, they don't have to do anything other than just text or call. So that's on the landing page. It's not on the ad itself here. So
so you're only getting those options because you chose to do the site link, right? When you chose what type of ad you're going to have.
Right.
Those options are only because you're taking them to a website.
Right, and basically this right here, this is the call to action. Whatever your call to action is, if it's a video, chances are you may want to say watch more. Now you don't have to. You can say I don't want to have anything. One of the good things about not choosing a button is that you have more real estate to advertise, because that button takes up a little bit of space. So if I want to continue to say, keep on writing, and if I'm just doing mobile, that may be the difference between it cutting it off because I used the call to action, instead. But again, that has a double-edged sword, because some people, you would think it's self-explanatory, but they don't see it that way. Okay, I see this. What do I do now? It's probably best to say click here. Now, one thing you could do is you could put that in your actual picture. Say click here. Make sure it's not over 20%, but you can put that in there. Okay?
Is the picture part of the 20% or just the text?
No, just the text. Now, that's a very good question. It brings up another point. There are some services out there, like say for instance you have in the picture itself a laptop. There are services out there that allow you to put wording in the laptop. Now that is a way to sometimes get away from that 20%, even though you're actually advertising for yourself. But, Facebook may be catching on to that, and you take your chance. Just know that it's going to take you some time to get either approved or disapproved. The fastest I've gotten approved is immediately, because it's an automated process at first, but then they do quality control later on where people are actually live. But if you don't meet that qualification, the automated will catch it. For instance, if there's a large amount of text, the automated version is going to catch that right away. But maybe it's at 22 or 25%. Maybe it doesn't catch it right away. But there will be a quality control person that is an actual live person that will go back later on and review those ads. And you may or may... That happened to me on that open event. I was like, okay, good, it went through. And then about an hour later, I didn't get it. It got rejected. So I had to go back and redo a little bit of work there. So those are all things. So right now, we've got about 20 minutes. That's basically, and then once you're finished with all of that, you want to play, you can review the order. What that does is you're reviewing everything from the demographics to the placement of your ad to how much you're spending to when you're spending it on Saturdays, Sundays, whatever. Your call to action, what the video looks like, or the face, or the picture looks like, everything. You're reviewing all of that, and then when you're ready, you just place the order. Now, when that happens, it goes into this pending stage, most likely, and then also what you were talking about earlier. Do I have to create another one? Right there, there will also be. You want to create a similar ad. Now, if you want to use a different, if this was to take them to the website, and now you want to do an event one, you may need to open up another tab and start from there. Does that make sense? Okay, I hope that helps out a lot. We're a little early to finish here, but I'll be more than happy to answer. Yes, Monica?
I had a question. With AdWords, you've got people actively looking for your product or service, either a person actively looking to sell their house.
Right.
House worth.
Right.
On Facebook, you're just targeting the demographic that owns a house, but they may not be actively looking to sell. That's
an actual perfect analogy. I tell this to people all the time. AdWords and Facebook ads, they're apples and oranges. They're totally different. If you have a business location, chances are you may want to spend money on Google AdWords. However, I will say this: Google AdWords can be very expensive. And you may take a specialist to do this. I will say this, though. Let me say this about Facebook ads. I believe that there's a window of time where this is going to be inexpensive. I think that's only going to be a matter of time where people, especially the bigger brands and things like that, they start to really, and you're starting to see advertising from the big brands now anyway. But I'm saying that I think in between about 3 to 5 years, the cost for advertising on Facebook will go up. So it is definitely something that you want to take advantage of now to utilize. The more social, the better. Me personally, I'm targeting veterinarians right now. I'm targeting, what is the other one? Believe it or not, I'm targeting limousine drivers, because those are people that are actually, people talk about their pets all the time. They show these funny videos, they show their pets. So it's a natural place for me when I'm targeting veterinarians to say, hey, look, your people are there. They love pets. If you're 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, their pet gets hurt, or they need vaccinations, this is a great place for you to advertise. This is perfect. So it's not for everybody, but it's definitely something that if you're specifically wanting to target, that's what I tell people. I bridge your ideal audience to you. So, any other questions? I hope this was helpful. Yes, ma'am.
This isn't so much an ad problem as I have a Facebook page or profile for myself, which is personal, and then I have one for my small business.
Right.
But I've never gotten as many likes for the small business one. My likes for my jewelry and art, coming from my friends, are all for the personal one. How do I migrate people to the small business one?
That's a good question. Years ago, the emphasis on likes was much more important than it is today. It got overemphasized so much that it devalued the reason for likes, because it used to be like our page, and now you're going to get an advertisement discount or whatever. But it's become so cheapened to the fact that actual organic, meaning original people that are actually going to see your post on your Facebook pages are very, very small. You're now having to be forced to spend money to get people to see that. It's like what I'm saying, the advertising cost in comparison to Google Ads is down now. But the majority of when it starts to catch on and more people see the value of it, you're going to have to pay more. The same thing for your organic postings for your Facebook page.
My friends don't know that I have.
Can she go to my other website?
Well, you can using advertising, like I was saying before.
I mean, just on your personal.
Yes,
page.
yeah, you can definitely do that.
You can say, go take a look at my business website.
Absolutely, you can do that. You can do that all the time. I know realtors that do this all the time. They'll actually post properties. They'll do it on their own personal Facebook profile. Yeah, you can do it. You can tell people to do that. But it's one thing to say to your friends, like my page, but are they really truly interested other than just being a friend to you? Because what happens is, if you ask them to like your page, anytime you post, they get a chance to see that. But if they were just doing that to be a good friend and to support you, and they're not really interested in your product, then you've wasted their time.
Yeah, but then they unfollow.
And they unfollow. Exactly. That's what they do. So that's why I was saying before, I'd rather have 100 engaged people that are actually interested in what I'm about than 1,000 that just like my page. And some people buy their likes. That's not something you want to do.
Well, she could also say, if you like my jewelry that she shows on her personal page, take a look at my business Facebook.
And that's perfect. What I meant by buying likes is they pay somebody to buy likes for you that's from some foreign country that has no interest in you. But yes, you can do exactly what you're suggesting, Doctor. You can tell people, hey, if you're interested. And also another thing, here's an important thing I would suggest that you guys get involved with. Groups, Facebook groups. They're extremely important, guys. And in those groups, depending on what their rules are, because some people don't let you advertise. I have one group that is cool, though. They say 1 day a week on Fridays, you can self-promote yourself. So on Fridays, I tell people my elevator pitch is I bridge your ideal audience for you. I have a certain word that I use. But I target your particular audience. We zoom in and focus in on your particular demographic.
There are crafters marketing groups on Facebook.
There's all kinds. And now there's I didn't see this before, but now there's, it's called sell groups where you can sell, almost like garage sales. I saw that the other. I'm like, what? I'm like, wow, it's amazing what you can do. So
it's an app.
Yeah. Listen, guys, I hope tonight was very beneficial for you. I do have some cards. If you like the business card from me, I'm more than happy to hand those out to you. And if you have any questions, you can email me or call me, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions for you. Thank you for coming out. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, or Happy Holidays to you and your family. Yes. Thank you for coming. Sorry about earlier. You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yeah. Hi. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Good. Thank you.
And then I have
So, I used to sell advertising for YP, so I understand some of this, but like AdWords is